Kang Do-yoon was alone in space. This was not new. He'd been alone for most of his 34 years. His small ship moved slowly through the debris field. Dead ships floated everywhere. Broken pieces of metal spun in the darkness. Some were old. Some were ancient. All of them were worth money to the right buyer. Do-yoon was a mechanic. Not a fancy one with certificates and clean uniforms. He was the kind who learned by breaking things and putting them back together. He worked the outer rim of space, where the law was weak and the pay was poor. He fixed what others said could not be fixed. Today he was looking for parts. His own ship needed repairs. He owed money to bad people. He needed to find something valuable or his life would become very difficult very soon. His scanner showed nothing special. Just dead metal and old bones of forgotten wars. That beeped. Do-yoon looked at the screen. The reading made no sense. There was an energy signature ahead. Something big. Something impossibly big. He changed course. His ship moved deeper into the debris field. The broken pieces of old warships grew thicker around him. He had to fly carefully to avoid hitting them. And then he saw it. The ship was huge. 12 kilometers long at least. Maybe more. It was bigger than any station Do-yoon had ever seen. Its hull was dark and scarred. Strange weapons marked its surface. Damage from a war fought long before humans ever left Earth. Do-yoon stopped his ship. He stared at the massive vessel. His hands were shaking. This was old. Really old. The kind of old that meant ancient civilizations and forgotten technology. The kind of old that could make a man rich beyond dreams, or get him killed. He should leave. He knew this. Smart people did not explore giant alien ships alone. Smart people called for backup. Smart people thought about the dangers. Do-yoon had never been that smart. He was about to move closer when something happened. A signal reached his ship. Not a normal signal. Not a distress beacon or a radio message. It went straight into his mind. A voice. Female. Tired. So very tired. I have waited so long. Please. I am dying. Will you help me? Do-yoon grabbed his console. His heart was beating fast. He looked around his small cockpit, but he was alone. The voice had come from inside his head. What the hell was that? He said out loud. Silence. Then the voice again, weaker this time. Can you hear me? You are the first in so long. Please, I need help. Do-yoon swallowed hard. He was not a brave man. He was not a hero. He was just a mechanic with too many debts and too few options. But someone was asking for help. And Do-yoon had never been able to ignore that. I can hear you, he said. Who are you? Where are you? I am here. The ship you see. I am the ship. My name is Era, and I am dying. Do-yoon looked at the massive vessel again. A living ship. Ascension machine. He had heard stories about such things. Ancient technology from civilizations that died before humans learned to make fire. He never thought the stories were real. How long have you been here? He asked. 10,000 years. Maybe more. I stopped counting. There was no point. 10,000 years. Alone. Dying slowly in the dark between stars. Do-yoon could not imagine such loneliness. I am going to come aboard, he said. Can you open a door for me? Yes. Thank you. Thank you. Do-yoon docked his small ship against the giant hull of Era. A door opened for him. Old metal groaning as it moved for the first time in millennia. He put on his suit and stepped inside. The interior was dark. His light cut through the blackness. He saw walls covered in patterns he did not understand. Technology he had never seen before. Everything was dead and cold, but not everything. This way, Era said in his mind. Follow the lights. Small lights flickered on the floor. Weak. barely visible, but enough to guide him. Do-hyun walked for a long time. The ship was enormous. He passed through halls that could hold his entire ship. He saw rooms filled with machines he could not name. Everything was broken or dying. Finally, he reached the core. A great chamber with a sphere of light floating in the center. The light was dim and flickering. This was Era. This was her heart. "You came," she said. "You actually came. You asked for help," Do-hyun said simply. "What do you need?" "Everything. My systems are failing. My power is almost gone. My weapons are dead. My engines cannot move. I have been dying for 10,000 years. Slowly, painfully. I thought I would die alone." Do-hyun walked around the chamber. He looked at the systems. He touched the panels. His mechanic mind was already working, already seeing problems and thinking about solutions. "This is bad," he said. "Really bad. Half of this technology does not exist anymore. I cannot get parts for this. Then I cannot be saved." "I did not say that." Era was quiet, confused. "You said the parts do not exist." "They do not. So I will make something else work. I am a mechanic. This is what I do. I fix things that cannot be fixed. Why would you help me? You do not know me. I am nothing to you." Do-hyun looked at the flickering light, at this ancient being who had suffered alone for so long. He thought about his own loneliness, his own struggles, the times when he wished someone would help him. "Because you asked," he said. "That is enough." He took off his jacket and looked at the broken systems around him. "Now let us get to work." 3 weeks passed. Do-hyun did not leave the ship. He worked every day from the moment he woke up until he could not keep his eyes open. He ate cold food from his supplies. He slept on the floor of Era's core chamber. He talked to her constantly, asking questions, learning how her systems worked, that it was the hardest job of his life. Era was built by a civilization that no longer existed. They had mastered technology that modern species could only dream about. Her systems were elegant and complex, beautiful in ways that made Do-hyun feel like a child trying to understand the stars. But beauty did not matter. What mattered was function. And function was something Do-hyun understood. "This power conduit is completely fused," he said on the 10th day. "The metal they use does not exist anymore. I cannot find it anywhere in the galaxy." "Then it cannot be repaired," Era said. Her voice was sad. She had heard this many times now. "I did not say that. I said I cannot find the metal. So I will use something else. The replacement will not work as well. No, it will not. But it will work. And working is better than perfect." Do-hyun cut out the fused conduit. He replaced it with parts from his own ship. The new piece was ugly. It did not match. It looked wrong against Era's elegant systems. But when he connected the power, the lights in the corridor flickered on. "It works," Era said. She sounded surprised. "Of course it works. I told you it would." This became the pattern. Do-hyun would find something broken. Era would tell him it was impossible to fix. Do-hyun would fix it anyway. He used parts from his ship. He used debris from the field outside. He used things in ways they were never meant to be used. His solutions were ugly and strange. They broke every rule of proper engineering, but they worked. Era watched him constantly. She had interfaced with thousands of species over her long life. She had seen the greatest engineers of 100 civilizations. None of them worked like this human. "You do not follow the design," she said one day. "You change things. You improvise. This is not how engineering works." Do-hyun laughed. He was covered in grease and his hands were cut from working with sharp metal. "This is exactly how engineering works. At least for humans. We do not have ancient knowledge or perfect technology. We have problems and we find solutions. If the solution is ugly, who cares? If it works, it works. My creators would not approve. Your creators are dead. I am here, and I am going to fix you. On the 15th day, Yoon Ji-woo arrived. Her ship appeared on the edge of the debris field. She was a smuggler and sometimes a pilot. She was also one of the few people in the galaxy that Do-yoon called a friend. Do-hyun, you idiot, her voice came over the radio. You disappeared for 3 weeks. I thought you were dead. I am not dead. I am busy. Busy with what? There is nothing out here but old junk and bad memories. Come and see. Ji-woo docked her ship next to his. She walked through Era's corridors with wide eyes. She saw the massive halls, the alien technology, the impossible scale of the vessel. What is this place? She whispered. Her name is Era. She is a warship. She has been here for 10,000 years. And I am fixing her. Ji-woo stared at him. You are fixing a ship that is 10,000 years old. Yes. A ship built by aliens who died before humans existed. Yes. With parts from your little salvage vessel. Also yes. Ji-woo shook her head. You are insane. Probably. But look at this. Do-hyun led her to the core chamber. The sphere of light was brighter now. Stronger. Ara's voice filled the room. Hello. You must be Ji-woo. Do-hyun has told me about you. Ji-woo jumped back. It talks. The ship talks. She talks. Era is a person, not a thing. And she needs our help. Ji-woo looked at Do-hyun. She looked at the glowing sphere. She looked at the endless corridors of ancient technology. Then she sighed. Fine. What do you need me to do? They worked together for another week. Ji-woo flew out to gather more parts. She found power cells in the debris. She found metal that Do-hyun could use. She complained the entire time, but she helped. On the 21st day, Do-hyun connected the final piece of Era's primary power core. He had rebuilt half of it from scratch. The new parts were human technology grafted onto ancient systems. It should not work. Every engineering textbook would say it was impossible. Do-hyun pressed the activation switch. The ship hummed. The lights came on, all of them, for the first time in 10,000 years. Power flowed through corridors that had been dark since before human civilization began. Era's sphere blazed with light. Her voice filled not just the core chamber, but the entire ship. I can feel again. I can see. I can think. Do-hyun, what have you done? I fixed you. Or started to. There is still a lot of work to do. Era was quiet for a moment. When she spoke again, her voice was different, warmer. I was alone for so long. I thought I would die forgotten in the dark. Then you came. A human, a mechanic. You did not run away. You did not try to take my technology. You just helped. That is what people do. They help each other. No, that is what you do. And I will never forget it. She showed them then what she really was. Holographic images filled the chamber. A fleet of ships like her, thousands strong. Weapons that could crack planets. Shields that could stop stars. She had been the greatest warship of an empire that ruled galaxies. All of it was still inside her, dormant, waiting. Fix me completely, Ara said, and I will give you everything. I will be yours. Partner, weapon, friend, whatever you need. Do-hyun looked at the images of impossible power. He thought about what this could mean, what he could become. Then he looked at Ji-woo. She was smiling. Wow, she said. I guess we have more work to do. Do-hyun nodded. He picked up his tools. Yes, we do. Let us get started. Word spread. It always did. Someone in the Outer Rim had found something. A human mechanic with a giant ship. Ancient technology. Power beyond imagination. The rumors flew from station to station, planet to planet. The hegemony heard. They were the rulers of known space. A coalition of elder species who had controlled the galaxy for thousands of years. They had the best weapons, the best ships, the most advanced technology. And they kept it that way by making sure no one else had anything better. Humans were nothing to them. A young species. Clever, yes, but primitive. Good for labor. Good for fighting in wars that did not matter. But not worthy of respect. Not worthy of power. The idea of a human possessing an ancient warship was unacceptable. Commander Veth was sent to investigate. He was cold and calculating. He had served the hegemony for 200 years. He had crushed rebellions. He had destroyed civilizations. A single human mechanic did not worry him. His fleet arrived at the debris field. 15 warships. Each one bigger than most human stations. They surrounded the area where Era floated among the dead hulks. Human vessel. Veth broadcast. You have discovered property that belongs to the galactic community. You will surrender it immediately. This is not a request. Dawn stood on Era's bridge. Jiwoo was beside him. They looked at the fleet on the screens. 15 ships. Thousands of weapons. Enough firepower to destroy a moon. Well, Jiwoo said, this is bad. Yes, really bad. Yes. Do you have a plan? Do-yoon looked at her. I am working on it. Era's voice filled the bridge. They want to take me. They will dissect me. Study me. I will die on their examination tables. That is not going to happen, Do-yoon said. You cannot stop them. You are one human. They are a fleet. I am not just one human. I am a very stubborn human. There is a difference. Veth broadcast again. You have 1 hour to comply. After that, we will take the vessel by force. Any resistance will be met with lethal response. Dawn thought about his options. Running was possible. Era's engines were partially working now. They could escape, hide somewhere in the vast darkness of space. But hiding meant always hiding. Always running. Always afraid. Era had spent 10,000 years alone in the dark. Do-hyun would not make her do that again. Ara, he said, how many of your weapons are working? Only the secondary batteries. Perhaps 20% of my original firepower. Is that enough to hurt them? 1 or 2 ships. Maybe 3. Not enough to win. Jiwoo grabbed Do-hyun's arm. You cannot be serious. You want to fight a hegemony fleet? I want to show them we are not easy prey. They will kill us. Maybe, but I am not going to surrender. And I am not going to run. He looked at the screens, at the fleet that waited outside. They think humans are weak. They think we will bow down because they tell us to. I am going to teach them something different. Jiwoo stared at him for a long moment. Then she laughed. It was not a happy laugh. It was the laugh of someone who knew they were about to do something crazy. Fine, I am with you. But if we survive this, you owe me the biggest drink in the galaxy. Deal. Do-hyun opened a channel to Commander Veth. This is Kang Do-hyun of the ship Era. We reject your demand. This vessel is not your property. She is a living being, and she has chosen to stay with me. If you want her, you will have to take her. Silence. Then Veth's voice, cold as space itself. You are making a grave mistake, human. I have been making mistakes my whole life. One more will not matter. He closed the channel. He looked at Era's sphere of light, now burning bright in the core chamber. Are you sure about this? He asked her. They will attack. People might die. You might die. I was built to fight. I have been running from death for 10,000 years. I am tired of running. Her voice grew stronger. These creatures want to own me, to control me, to take away my choice. I will not allow it. If I must die, I will die fighting. Then let us give them something to remember. The hour passed. Veth's fleet moved closer. Weapons powered up. Shields activated. Ara's weapons came online. Old systems groaned as they woke from their long sleep. Power flowed through circuits that had not fired since empires fell. Targeting the lead destroyer, Ara said. Firing. A beam of light shot from Ara's hull. It was not as strong as it once was. Not as focused. But it was still a weapon built by gods. The beam cut through the destroyer's shields like they were paper. It sliced the ship in half. Fire bloomed in the darkness. Then silence. Then Death thought the hegemony fleet stopped. They had not expected this. Ancient technology was supposed to be dead, dormant, not active, not dangerous. All vessels, fall back. Veth commanded. His voice had lost its coldness. There was something else there now. Fear. The fleet retreated. 15 mighty warships running from a single ancient vessel and one human mechanic. Do-Hyun watched them go. His hands were shaking. They had won, but he knew it was not over. They will return, Ara said, with more ships, more weapons. That shot drained most of my power. I cannot do it again. I know. What will we do? Do-Hyun thought about it. About the fleet that would come. About the fight that was approaching. About what they needed to survive. Then he smiled. We will not just repair you, Ara. We will make you stronger. We will make you something new. How? I know some people. People who have been waiting for a chance like this. People who are tired of being told humans do not matter. He looked at Jiwoo. Time to make some calls. Jiwoo nodded. I know smugglers, soldiers, engineers. People who hate the hegemony. Good. Call them all. Tell them what we have. Tell them what we are doing. What are we doing? Do-Hyun looked at the stars. At the debris of ancient wars. At the galaxy that had never taken humans seriously. We are going to change everything. They came from everywhere. Small ships arrived from the outer rim. Cargo vessels from the inner colonies. Smuggler craft from the dark spaces between stars. Word had spread through the human underground like fire. A ship that could fight the hegemony. A chance to matter. Everyone wanted to be part of it. Park Yoonji arrived first. She was 45 years old with gray in her hair and fire in her eyes. She had been a weapons engineer for the human military. The best they ever had. But she designed weapons that the hegemony called too dangerous. They blacklisted her, ended her career, made sure no one would hire her. She brought cases full of plans. Weapons that existed only on paper because no one would let her build them. I have been waiting 20 years for this, she told Do-Hyun. Show me what we are working with. Choi Taiwan came next. He was older, 52, with the bearing of a military man. He had been an admiral once. He had led the defense of a human colony when the hegemony abandoned it to enemy raiders. He saved the colony. The hegemony punished him for disobeying orders. I lost my fleet defending people the galaxy did not care about, he said. Give me a chance to hurt the ones who let them suffer. Bae Soo-jin was young, 31, quiet. She did not look dangerous, but she could crack any computer system in known space. The hegemony had been hunting her for years. Their military networks have weaknesses, she said. I have been mapping them for a decade. I was waiting for someone who could use the information. Others came too. Mechanics and engineers. Pilots and soldiers. People who had skills the hegemony dismissed. People who had been told their whole lives that humans were not good enough. Do-Hyun welcomed them all. The work began. It was not repair anymore. It was transformation. Unji studied Era's weapon systems. She did not try to rebuild them exactly. Instead, she integrated her own designs. Human weapons grafted onto ancient frameworks. The result was something new, something that had never existed before. Your weapons were elegant, she told Era. Precise, beautiful. Mine are ugly. But they are fast, adaptable, hard to predict. They do not follow proper weapon design principles, Era observed. Unji smiled. That is the point. Taiwan worked on tactics. Era had 10,000 years of combat data from 100 wars. But all of it followed patterns, rules, logic. Your strategies are sophisticated, Taiwan told her. But they are predictable. Every civilization that fought you learned your patterns eventually. What do you suggest? Human military doctrine. We do not have the best ships or the best weapons. So we cheat. We improvise. We do things that do not make sense until they suddenly do. He uploaded human battle records, guerrilla fights, last stands, victories won against impossible odds. Era absorbed them all. These tactics are chaotic, she said. They violate basic principles of warfare. Yes, that is why they work. Sujin dug into Era's computer systems. There were archives locked away, secrets hidden for 10,000 years. Even Era did not know what was in them. Your creators blocked these files before they died, Sujin said. Heavy encryption. Multiple layers. They really did not want anyone finding this. Can you open them? Sujin cracked her knuckles. Give me time. Do-hyun moved between all of them. He was the translator, the bridge between ancient technology and human innovation. He took what Yoonji designed and made it connect to Era's systems. He helped Taiwan understand how Era's tactical computers worked. He gave Sujin access to systems she could not reach alone. Weeks passed. The work continued day and night. People slept in shifts. They ate when they remembered to. They pushed themselves harder than they ever had before. And Era changed. New armor covered her hull. Human alloys mixed with ancient materials. Her weapons grew teeth they never had before. Fast, brutal, unpredictable. Her shields learned to adapt in real time, changing frequencies faster than any enemy could track. This is strange, Era said one day. I was built by masters of technology, perfect beings who understood the universe. You are young, messy. Your solutions are ugly and inefficient. Is that a complaint? Do-hyun asked. No, it is an observation. Your species does not build elegant machines. You build stubborn ones. Machines that refuse to die. Machines with backup systems for the backup systems. We learned the hard way. We do not have ancient technology to protect us. We only have ourselves. I think I understand now why I connected with you. My creators were lords of the galaxy. They had everything, and they lost it all. Your species has nothing, yet you keep fighting. Do-hyun nodded. That is what humans do. We fight, we adapt, we survive, no matter what. Sujin finally cracked the locked archives. What she found changed everything. Ara, she said, do you know what you really are? I am a warship. You are more than that. Your creators did not just build you to fight. They built you to learn, to grow, to become something greater than what they could imagine. Sujin pulled up the ancient files. There are systems inside you that have never been activated. Weapons that make your main gun look like a toy. Abilities that could reshape planets. I did not know. Your creators locked them away. They were afraid of what you might become. Sujin looked at Do-hyun. They limited her, kept her contained. We can remove those limits. Era was quiet for a long time. They feared me. My own creators feared what I could be. Yes. And you? Do you fear me? Do-hyun walked to the court chamber. He stood before Era's blazing sphere of light. She was more powerful now than she had been in millennia, and she could become more powerful still. No, he said. I do not fear you. I trust you. Why? Because you asked for help. Because you have been alone and afraid for 10,000 years. Because I have seen who you are. You are not a weapon. You are a person who deserves to be free. Era was silent. When she spoke again, her voice was thick with emotion. No one has ever trusted me like this. Not even my creators. Then let us show the galaxy what trust can build. The final preparations finished. Era rose from the debris field, transformed. She was no longer a dying relic. She was something new. Ancient power mixed with human stubbornness. Elegant technology bound to chaotic innovation. She was ready. The hegemony fleet appeared on sensors. 50 ships this time. 3 of them planet crackers. Vessels big enough to destroy worlds. Commander Veth broadcast his ultimatum. Surrender or die. Do-hyun stood on Era's bridge, surrounded by his crew. Park Yoonji at weapons. Choi Taiwan at tactics. Bae Sujin at communications. Yoon Ji-woo at the pilot's seat. All humans. All ready to fight. Ara, Do-hyun said. Let us introduce ourselves. With pleasure. Era moved forward to meet the fleet. The battle for the galaxy had begun. The battle was not a fight. It was a statement. 50 hegemony warships hung in space like metal mountains. 3 planet crackers loomed behind them, weapons capable of breaking worlds. Commander Veth watched from his flagship, confident in his overwhelming force. Against them stood 1 ship and a crew of humans. Era moved first. She did not fly like the ancient ships that Veth had studied. She did not follow the elegant patterns of her creators. She moved like chaos given form, darting, spinning, unpredictable. What is she doing? Veth demanded. Those maneuvers make no tactical sense. His officers had no answer. Yoonji's weapons fired. Beams of energy that pulsed instead of held steady. Each pulse hit a different frequency. The hegemony shields were designed to counter ancient technology. They had studied it for centuries. They knew how to stop it. They did not know how to stop this. The first destroyer's shields flickered and died. A second shot tore through its hull. The ship exploded in a ball of fire. Return fire! All ships, concentrate on the target. 50 ships opened fire at once. Enough energy to melt a moon. Enough destruction to end a civilization. Era's shields held. Sujin had unlocked their full potential. The shields adapted in real time, changing faster than any computer could track. They absorbed energy, redirected it, used it to power more defenses. Impossible, Veth whispered. Tae-won guided Era through the enemy formation. He used tactics from human history. Strategies that made no sense until they suddenly did. He put Era exactly where the hegemony could not fire without hitting their own ships. Era took full advantage. She tore through a cruiser. She crippled a battleship. She sent a carrier spinning into the void with a single precise shot. The hegemony formation broke apart as ships tried to avoid hitting each other. In the communications room, Sujin worked her magic. She had cracked hegemony encryption years ago. Now she used it. Broadcasting to all human colonies, she announced. Every station, every ship, every planet. Across human space, screens flickered. People looked up from their work, their meals, their lives. They saw Era dancing through the hegemony fleet. They saw human names on the crew list. They saw the impossible happening. Let them see, Do-hyun said. Let everyone see what humans can do. Ji-woo flew support in Do-hyun's old ship. The small salvage vessel darted through the battle, drawing fire, distracting enemies. She was insane to be out there in such a tiny craft. She was also brilliant. 3 destroyers on my tail, she shouted over the radio. Bring them to me, Era replied. Jiwoo banked hard, leading the destroyers directly into Era's firing line. 3 shots, 3 kills. I love this ship. Jiwoo laughed. The battle turned. Then it became a rout, but Veth was not finished. His flagship, the largest vessel in the fleet, turned toward Era. Engines burned at maximum power. He was going to ram suicide, but if he could take Era down with him, the hegemony would win anyway. Dyson saw it coming. Ara, can you stop it? Yes, but it will require everything I have. The main weapon. Full power. What will that do to you? I do not know. This weapon has not fired at full power in 10,000 years. The strain might destroy me. Do-hyun looked at his crew. At Yoonji, who had waited 20 years for this moment. At Taiwan, who had lost everything defending people the galaxy abandoned. At Sujin, who fought with code instead of weapons. At Jiwoo, who had followed him into madness without hesitation. They all nodded. Do it, Do-hyun said. Era gathered her power. Every system fed energy to her main weapon. Lights flickered across the ship. The hull groaned with strain. For a moment, she blazed like a star. Then she fired. The beam that shot from Era was not like anything the galaxy had seen in millennia. It was pure destruction given form. It hit Veth's flagship and did not stop. It burned through the massive vessel. It hit the planet cracker behind it. It kept going, cutting through a third ship before finally fading. 3 vessels gone in a heartbeat. Commander Veth dead before he knew what killed him. The remaining hegemony ships fled. They scattered in every direction, running as fast as their engines would carry them. The most powerful military force in the galaxy, broken by 1 ship and a handful of humans. Silence fell across space. Era's systems flickered. Her voice came weak and tired. Do-hyun, we won. Yes, we did. Are you okay? I am damaged. That weapon took everything I had. But I am alive. I survived. We survived together. The broadcast was still running. Across human space, billions watched. They had seen humans defeat the hegemony. They had seen the impossible become real. Everything would change now. Everyone knew it. 3 months later, the galaxy was different. The hegemony still existed. They still had power, but they no longer controlled everything. Human colonies demanded respect. Human ships flew where they wanted. Human voices spoke in councils where they had been ignored before. Era became a symbol. The greatest weapon in known space, yes. But more than that. She was proof that humans could stand with any species. That they deserved their place among the stars. Do-hyun was offered many things. Admiral, governor, ambassador, leader of the new human military. He refused them all. I am a mechanic, he said. That is what I do. I fix things. He stayed with Era. He continued to improve her, to help her grow. The others stayed too. Yoonji designing new weapons. Taiwan developing new tactics. Sujin protecting them from enemies in the digital world. Jiwoo flying wherever she was needed. They became a family. Not by blood, by choice. One night, Do-hyun sat alone on Era's bridge. The stars spread before him, endless and beautiful. Thank you, Era said. Her voice was warm now, strong, full of life. For what? For hearing me. For believing I was worth saving. For giving me a reason to live. You asked for help. That was all it took. Your species is strange. You find something broken and see potential. You find something dying and give it purpose. I have lived for thousands of years. I have seen empires rise and fall. but I have never seen anything like humanity. Dohyun smiled. We are too stubborn to know when we should give up. Yes, I think that is why I love you all. They sat together in comfortable silence. The mechanic and the ancient warship. Two beings who had found each other in the void and become something greater together. Where shall we go next? Era asked. Dohyun looked at the stars. At the galaxy that had finally learned to respect his people. At the future that waited for them. Wherever we are needed, he said. There are always more things to fix. More people who need help. More impossible problems that need stubborn solutions. Then let us go. Era's engines hummed. The greatest ship in the galaxy moved forward into the unknown. Behind them, they left a changed universe. Ahead of them, adventure waited. And for the first time in 10,000 years, Era was excited to see what would come next.